What's up? I'm Mr. Simon, your host for this episode of Just Kicking It. Today, we have a special one for you. We're sitting down with Luxury Culinary Curator, Tina Gray. She's going to talk to us about her business, what's on the menu, her sauce, Ruby. Just chop it up with us for a little bit. Let's get into it.
We got a real black woman in the kitchen. She made some chicken. She fried chicken, baked chicken, all of that type of stuff.
And I wanted to start off by talking about your sauce. I believe it's called Ruby's.
Yeah, it's called Ruby.
Can you tell me about that?
So Ruby is a hot sauce I created November last year during quarantine. Actually started off as a mistake. I was working on trying to do a YouTube show with one of my homies, and for the meal that I cooked for him, I was like, oh, this chicken needs some sauce on it. And so I put the sauce together, and it was just really good. And when I tasted it, I was like, damn, I could probably sell this. Yeah. He was like, yeah, you probably could. And so I think within the next week or so, I just ordered some bottles. I had one of my friends make a label for it. And I sold maybe like the first 20 bottles on Instagram just to try it out to see if people would buy it. And people bought it, not even tasted it, just believed in me and bought it. And so every time I dropped it, I just went up in the numbers. So the next time I think I maybe put out maybe like 50. And then after that I did 100, then I did 200. And so now I just leave it open so people can come back and forth to taste it. But that's how I created it.
He was telling me that it is named after your grandmother.
Yes, it is.
What made you pick your grandmother's name?
It actually just came to me because I was trying to figure out what to call it. And it just came out of nowhere. But I do remember the first time I had condiments and things of that sort. Just good food in general was at my grandmother's house. So it was kind of easy to name it after her. Yeah. Like the first time I had hot sauce was in her house. Okay. So, and again, if you taste the hot sauce, I should have brought you some. I'm sorry. My apologies. But it's spicy and sweet. And I felt like that embodied who my grandmother was. We're working on a documentary, and a lot of things that I learned about my grandmother that I have a lot of her qualities. And so I could be spicy and sweet too. And that's who she was.
We're in LA and you were taking food from back home, Chicago. And
yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
So I used to do these parties called Summertime Shy. Pre-COVID. And I wanted to start it back, but of course COVID started and all this other shit. So I would fly to Chicago and get all the hood snacks that we used to love, like the pizza puffs and the hot crunchy curls and any Vintner's chips and super donuts, fruities, all that stuff. I would go there to the candy store warehouse. What is it, 71st and State? Yep. So I would go there and get everything and fly back home the same day.
The same day?
Yep.
Oh, so you was hustling for real?
Yeah. I wanted people in LA to experience what Summertime Shy was. Yeah. And then we did it in Houston. Yeah, there's a Chicago invades Houston weekend once a year. So we did it there. It was a good turnout. And then even when I did it back home, it was a great turnout. And I didn't think people was really gonna come, but they was rocking with it. It's this is what y'all experience every day. Y'all can go get pizza puffs and Italian beefs, all that stuff every day. And they was really rocking with it. So yeah, it was a whole situation. My friends would come help me fry the chicken, help me make even in LA, we don't have Italian beefs. So I would go to Chicago and get the tubs of Italian beef meat and bring that back. So yeah, it was a situation.
How long were you doing that for?
I started the first one in April, and the last one was in October.
Is that something that you plan on doing again, or?
I mean, if the world ever opens back up, maybe. Right. There is the fact that we can't go outside.
So I was telling you earlier that I saw an interview that you did on the network is Thrillist. I forget the name of the actual show.
InstaChef.
Yes. And
Yeah.
you were mentioning one thing that stood out to me is that you don't like being called a chef. Can you go into that for me a little bit?
For one, I just feel like the term chef is just overused now. Everybody on Instagram that could cook is a chef, or Facebook that could cook. Your auntie's a chef right now.
Right.
So it's just like, I feel like it's overused, and I feel like it's almost disrespectful to people that actually went to school and put their money into that. Like I went to school and I dropped out.
Okay.
So I guess I could kind of call myself a chef if I wanted to. And then I did have some like classical type training. Like I worked for different restaurants and experienced a lot of the things I needed to know there. So yeah, I mean, if I wanted to, I could, but I just feel like it's so oversaturated now. And then I also don't like putting myself in a box.
Okay.
Because I feel like, personally, like how LeBron says he's more than an athlete, I feel like I'm more than a chef. It's like more to me outside the kitchen. And so, actually, damn, you just helped me out. That's what I want to call my YouTube series, More Than a Chef.
There you go.
Thank you.
There you are. Well.
I might have to go ahead. So yeah, I truly feel like I'm more than that. Like I talk to people about mental health, lifestyle changes. Hell, my shoes are a big part of my life. I'm a parent. I'm a daughter. So yeah, I'm just more than a chef. I don't want no labels at all.
Okay, because I was going to ask you, okay, what do you consider yourself? But with that, you just said it, you don't want.
I say I'm a culinary curator.
I like that. I like that a lot. Actually. Okay.
I'm a luxury culinary curator. There we go.
The jerk chicken.
Egg rolls.
Yes. How?
Jerk
and
chicken
why?
and mac and cheese egg rolls.
Yes.
You know, in Chicago, they'll jerk anything. They'll jerk a piece of cake if you let them. So I was like, it's just a big thing in Chicago, eating jerk chicken. I used to love jerk chicken when I lived there.
Yeah.
And I mean, Negroes love mac and cheese. So I was like, put them both together and let's see what we get. And it just came out bomb. And I remember I always start these things and then I kind of stop because I see other people like doing the same thing and it turns me off. So when I first started making the egg rolls, I would take it, I used to do these pop-ups in Chicago. So I'll come back home and do the pop-up, sell out, and then just go back to LA. But then I start seeing people that I know they would come buy it to taste it and then put it on their menus or their food trucks. And they wouldn't give me like credit for having that experience from me first. Right. And so it kind of just turned me off and I was like, I don't want to fuck with egg rolls at all no more. Even the InstaChef thing, like.
Can you tell me about your cookbook? Like how long did it take you to put it together? What type of recipes are we talking about?
So I have maybe 3 or 4 different cookbooks.
So like okay, they're more than okay.
Yeah, so
yes.
they're ebooks.
Okay.
I haven't made a full-on cookbook yet. I'm not even interested in doing it, and I know some people want me to, but I don't want to do that much work. So with the ebooks, the first one I did was called a fake cookbook.
Okay.
And the reason why I called it a fake cookbook is because I really didn't my measurements were not precise. They were like off the top, this is some of my favorite meals to make my kid in 30 minutes. So I'm going to just put this together. So what I did was once I created it, for my birthday and Mother's Day, I gave it away to all single parents for free. And then the next year, I ended up selling it. So I probably gave away maybe 200. And then the next year, I probably sold more than I gave away. Yeah. So that was the first one. And then I made a vegan one, a more plant-based one. And then I did one also. And the plant-based one was one that I used to, I took meals that I used to make for my clients when I did meal preps. So that was pretty easy. And then the third one that I did is called With Love JRT. So it's With Love Jackie Ruby Tina, my mom, my grandma, and me. Okay. And it's a picture of us on the front of it. So it's all like brunch type of meals. I think I released that on Mother's Day last year too. So it was like some stuff my mom used to make. I asked her to send me like all the recipes for that. And I just took her recipes and put them in a book. I also have another one. It's a Juneteenth one.
Nice, okay. Tell me about that one.
So Juneteenth is just pretty much all the like Thanksgiving meals. And I kind of just put them all in the cookbook. It's about 10 recipes, but I wanted people to not celebrate the 4th of July. And last year, everybody was big on, we're going to do Juneteenth. So I was like, here goes some meals y'all can make while y'all celebrate y'all Juneteenth instead of 4th of July.
Well, one, I want to know, can you give me an example of a Juneteenth recipe that's in the book?
Like my grandmother's potato salad is in the book.
Nice.
And that's something that I probably wouldn't want to share with anybody, but it's so good. Like my son eats it like it's ice cream, so I was like, y'all can have it.
Where can we get these books?
They're all on my website, WOTMcaters.com.
WOTM Caters.
Yeah, so it's abbreviated. What's on the menu abbreviated, WOTMcaters.com.